This is the international trade of wildlife. Biodiversity is going across borders here. And more specifically, these are live marine fish shipments from the Philippines, most of which are coming to the United States. The United States is one of the largest consumers of biodiversity, and we looked at government statistics and found over 2 decades we've imported more than 30,000 species into the United States. And these are actually really bad data, so it's probably many more than that. To give you context, I'm holding in my hand 150 pages. Every year we import about 150,000 wildlife shipments into the United States. In 2021, we only had 123 border inspectors of the Fish and Wildlife Service looking at these 150,000 shipments. These 150 pages also represent kind of an average day, probably an easy day for a wildlife inspector. Imagine you're an inspector and you show up at work and they give you this stack of papers and they say 15 shipments, 10 pages each. Go and look through these shipments and find illegal species. Find a species that may compromise our biosecurity. Find a venomous species that if you touch it, you may get injured. And that was a real invoice from a shipment. This is what the inspectors are dealing with. Now, the government makes it a little bit easier. We have a summary page, a declaration, where what are you actually bringing in the shipment? And of importance is any animal which is listed on the Convention on the International Trade of Endangered Species. If it's CITES species, it needs to have a permit going on this declaration. All wildlife on this need to have a common name and a scientific name listed, and you can see for the CITES corals, that is listed. But notice this top line. Tropical fish is not a species. There are 438 individual fish in this shipment, and we don't know the biodiversity because we've aggregated it to just a harmonized code. These are the top 6 most popular fish being imported into the United States. And so for those of you who are trying to find Nemo, there he is, number 5. But we also import 10,000 live lionfish every year. And these are a highly invasive species. They're also venomous. Venomous species are supposed to be listed on the declaration, and a majority of these 10,000 lionfish aren't. Of all this haystack of paper, how do you find the needles that are the illegal wildlife and get those inspected? Wouldn't it be great if you could take these 15 shipments and say, oh, some of these we don't even have to pay attention, they're all straightforward. Well, in 2016, my collaborator, Dr. Andrew Ryan, and I won the USAID Wildlife Crime Tech Challenge to do this very thing. Take a mound of paper, sort through it, and say, these are the shipments you actually have to look at. So in this case, 15 shipments, 14 of these seem okay, and we're just going to put them aside. It's this one shipment that there was something kind of weird about it. So let's look what could be weird in this shipment. Oh, we have a seahorse. Okay, and this is really small, so for the people in back, this is the ad I bought the seahorse off of. It's a 6-piece insect resin collection. This is a seahorse, it's not an insect. But more importantly, seahorses are CITES-listed species. They should have a permit, we should know where it came from, we should know how it was produced. There's a whole bunch of stuff we really need to know about it that we likely don't because it's just hidden both in the paperwork and actually on this online retailer. All right? Well, what else do we have going on in this shipment? Oh, we have a bat. Okay? This is an insect shipment, or a collection of 6 insects. Bats eat insects, so maybe they got confused on that. This isn't really illegal per se, although there are CITES-listed bats, but there's 1,400 bat species. And when you trade something as a bat, which one of the 1,400 is this? We don't know. We need the species-level information. Interestingly, we trade a lot of resin bats This is a product from Asia, and it actually comes to us from Canada. And it's being traded as a bat from Canada to the United States. But we can't trace it back to Asia. The company that's bringing this into Canada is actually importing plastic resin pieces into Canada. So even now, when we start looking at countries, we actually don't even see agreement because we're just not being specific enough. So it would be really easy just to say, well, stop all wildlife trade. But 30,000 species, it's around us everywhere. If you go to a restaurant and there's a coral tank, that's a business opportunity because corals relax you. You sit down, you take a little bit more time, you spend a little bit more money. But it's also an economic driver for the women's collective in the Solomon Islands that are actually growing these corals in mariculture. So they're deriving economy from this biodiversity. And so what we need to do is we need to figure out when this is sustainable and how do we manage it to be sustainable and how do we ensure this continues. Now, I haven't done a good job of defining wildlife. Wildlife is any non-domesticated animal. So all of the seafood we bring in is wildlife. And again, a lot of seafood is coming from developing countries, from small island nations, and this is where we need to make sure we're doing a good job and managing this well. Since we won the grand prize of the USAID Wildlife Crime Tech Challenge, a lot has changed, especially in the world of computing. We can do things faster, we can do more data, we can do more analytics. It's really amazing. We've also kind of shifted from paper to digital. But in trade, you need a static copy, paper or digital, and from there, you need to pull up the species information to find out where are these illegal species being hidden in this legal trade. There's also been a lot of other technology happening to find illegal wildlife. There's ENA, there's detection dogs, there's X-rays, but all of these things work best if you're sending it to a target. If you ask X-ray, what's in this box, it takes a lot of processing time and power to figure it out. If you ask X-ray, is there a crocodile in this box? Is there a bird in that box? It's a much, much easier problem to solve. So what we need to do is get all of these tools together, but I maintain that actually knowing what's in the shipment by what's being listed on the invoices is one of the most important steps we need to take in this. Which shipments get inspected? This is what we use computing power for. We take this mountain, this haystack of paperwork, point computers at it, and have them say, here's the needles that are the illegal wildlife. And then we pull those out, and we give those to the inspectors. We need to do this to help the inspectors so they're not looking at so much paperwork. We need to do this so there are species that come into trade, become popular, and are driven to extinction before CITES can even ever act on them and get a management plan going. And that's happened with a number of orchid species. And we need it just to understand the true nature of all the biodiversity that we're trading in. So, data matter. And it matters to be able to find the seahorse. It matters to find any one of the numerous species that are getting hidden in all of this trade that's happening. And it's important because biodiversity is important for communities, and where it's sustainable, we need to continue that. And where it's illegal, we need to find it and stop it. Thank you.